Hello there, and welcome to the Quiet Commodity channel. I'm so glad you found your way here. Maybe you've had a long day, or maybe you're the kind of person who finds comfort not in counting sheep, but in understanding them. Their soft fleece, the ancient rhythm of the spinning wheel, the warmth of a blanket woven from fibers older than civilization itself. Either way, tonight's journey is for you. You've got nothing to do but rest. Let your shoulders drop, your breathing deepen, and your mind drift like a cloud over green pastures. Because tonight, we aren't simply learning about wool. We're wandering through hilltop meadows and the patient hands of shepherds, through the gentle click of knitting needles, through lanolin and crimp, through a story that has kept humanity cozy for over 10,000 years. So consider liking and subscribing to help other sleepy souls find their way here. Now let's begin. Sheep were humanity's first partners. Around 10,000 years ago, in the highlands of Mesopotamia, early humans began tending wild sheep. Over generations, a deep partnership formed. The sheep trusted us for protection against predators, and we, in turn, learned to care for them. Wool became a gift of this quiet friendship, a collaboration between species that would eventually clothe entire civilizations. It began not with industry, but with simple trust in the fold. Wool is made of the same protein as your hair. Each strand of wool is composed of keratin, the organic protein that forms your skin and fingernails. Under a microscope, the fiber reveals overlapping scales, looking like tiny roof tiles. This structure allows wool to felt or lock together when rubbed. When you wear wool, you are wearing something that grew cell by cell on a living creature, nourished by nothing but green grass, fresh water, and sunlight. The crimp creates the warmth. Unlike straight hair, wool naturally grows in tiny zigzag waves called crimp. This structure acts like a microscopic spring, giving the yarn bounce. More importantly, these zigzags trap millions of tiny air pockets within the spun yarn. It is this trapped air held by the crimp that keeps you warm. The fiber itself is a natural insulator, resilient and alive, refusing to lie flat or lose its shape. Sheep have rectangular pupils. Their eyes are positioned on the sides of their heads, giving them a panoramic field of vision spanning nearly 300 degrees. They can see the horizon behind them without ever turning their heads. They watch the world constantly, vigilant but calm, grazing in safety. It is a strange, ancient way of seeing the world, wide, open, and always aware of the flock moving softly across the hills. The flock moves as one. Sheep find immense comfort in numbers. They press close together, finding safety in the warmth of other bodies. When one sheep turns, the whole flock ripples like water. This instinct for togetherness has protected them for millennia. There is safety in the collective, in the shared breathing of many lungs. The flock is a living blanket stitched together by instinct, moving softly over the landscape as a single unit. Sheep graze in silence. Walk through a pasture at dawn, and the only sound is the soft tearing of grass. Sheep do not bleat constantly. They communicate mostly through posture and proximity. Their world is green and soft, measured in mouthfuls, in slow movement from one patch of clover to the next. It is a peaceful existence, unhurried and gentle, the perfect backdrop for drifting thoughts and closing heavy eyes. Wool is naturally fire-resistant. Unlike cotton or synthetics, wool does not ignite easily. It contains high levels of nitrogen and moisture, which act as natural fire retardants. If exposed to a flame, it will often smudge and self-extinguish rather than burn. Historically, wool blankets were used by firefighters and soldiers for this very reason. Wool keeps you warm, but it also keeps you safe, refusing to betray you to the fire. Lanolin is nature's waterproofing. Sheep produce lanolin, a golden, waxy substance secreted by their skin. It coats every single fiber, repelling rain and keeping the sheep dry even in a storm. Traces of this lanolin remain in the wool even after washing, giving it that characteristic earthy scent and slight water resistance. It is a natural barrier, softening skin and protecting the fiber from the elements, a gift from the sheep's own body. Wool breathes with you. Wool fibers absorb moisture vapor and release it into the air, wicking sweat away from your skin. This makes wool warm in winter but surprisingly cool in summer. Bedouin tribes in the desert wear wool robes for this exact reason. It is a living fabric that responds to your body temperature, breathing in and out, adjusting constantly to keep you in perfect, comfortable balance with the world. Shearing is a relief. As winter fades and the sun warms the pastures, shepherds shear their flock. A skilled shearer removes the heavy winter coat in one continuous piece, unzipping the wool like a jacket. The sheep emerge lighter and cooler, their skin pink in the sunlight. It is a shedding of weight, a seasonal ritual of renewal, leaving the sheep unburdened and ready to face the summer sun with a lighter step. A fleece can weigh 30 pounds. Some breeds, like the merino, grow dense, heavy coats that must be shorn annually. Carrying this weight is necessary for winter warmth, but by spring it becomes a burden. The shearing removes this mass. The fleece, once removed, is rolled and tied into a soft bundle of cream or grey, smelling of grass and lanolin, ready to begin its long transformation into the yarn that will warm you. Raw wool is called grease wool. Straight from the sheep, wool is coated in lanolin, dirt, and bits of straw. It feels sticky, oily, and surprisingly heavy. Before it can be spun, it must be scoured, washed gently in hot water and soap. The transformation is striking. What was dull and compacted becomes soft, white, and voluminous clouds ready to be touched, carded, and spun into something entirely new. Carding aligns the fibers. After washing, wool is combed with wire brushes called carders. This process transforms a chaotic clump of fleece into a smooth, airy sheet. The motion is repetitive and meditative. Brush, pull, brush, pull. It untangles the knots and aligns the fibers in the same direction. It is the gentle coaxing of disorder into potential, creating a soft cloud ready for the spinning wheel's steady rhythm. The drop spindle is ancient technology. Long before the wheel, there was the spindle, a simple stick weighted at one end. The spinner attaches fibers, gives the stick a twist and lets it drop. Gravity and rotation twist the fluff into strong thread. It is elegant and slow, a tool that has clothed humanity for thousands of years. Watching it spin is hypnotic, a weight turning lazily in the air, pulling chaos into order. The spinning wheel has a heartbeat. The spinner sits at the wheel, feet working the treadle in a steady rhythm. Press, release, press, release. The wheel hums a low, continuous note. The yarn grows, thin and even, winding onto the bobbin. It is meditation in motion, the body and the machine working together, creating something useful from softness and air. The sound is a lullaby, a repetitive drone that has put children to sleep for centuries. Wool can hold water without feeling wet. Wool can absorb up to 30% of its weight in moisture and still feel dry to the touch. The water is held deep in the core of the fiber, keeping the surface dry against your skin. This is why wool socks keep feet warm even when damp. Wool holds the moisture gently, releasing it slowly back into the atmosphere, maintaining a dry and comfortable warmth. Wool cleans itself. The structure of wool fibers creates an environment where bacteria struggle to survive. This means wool garments resist odors, staying fresh for days without washing. You can simply air out a wool sweater rather than scrubbing it. Wool is low maintenance, naturally resisting the microbes that cause unpleasant smells. It cleans itself in a way, staying fresh through its own complex natural chemistry. Dyeing wool is an art. For millennia, humans have colored wool using plants. Madder root for red, indigo for blue, onion skins for gold. The wool is simmered in dye baths, absorbing the color slowly. Each batch is unique, influenced by the water and the heat. The result is color with depth, a richness that synthetic dyes cannot replicate, derived directly from the earth and locked into the fiber forever. Mordants set the color. To make natural dyes permanent, wool is treated with a mordant, usually a metallic salt like alum or iron. The mordant acts as a molecular bridge, binding the plant pigment to the wool fiber. It ensures the color won't wash away in the rain. It is invisible chemistry, holding the blue of the indigo to the protein of the fleece, creating a bond that lasts a lifetime. The twist creates strength. Wool fibers alone are weak and pull apart easily, but when twisted together, they become unbreakable. The spinner controls this tension. A tight twist creates durable yarn for weaving. A loose twist makes soft yarn for knitting. It is the simple physics of friction, individual weak strands hugging each other so tightly they become strong enough to weave a sail that can cross an ocean. Woolen versus worsted. There are two ways to spin. Woolen yarn is spun with air trapped inside, making it fuzzy and warm. Worsted yarn is spun smooth and tight, making it durable and shiny. The spinner chooses the method based on the goal: warmth or strength. It is a choice made with the hands, determining the character of the final cloth before the knitting even begins. The loom weaves order. Weaving requires two sets of threads. The warp is stretched tight vertically. The weft passes horizontally, over and under, over and under. The loom clicks and clacks, building fabric row by row. It is architecture made of thread. Weaving is order imposed on chaos, strands crossing at right angles to create a surface that protects, warms, and holds the history of the weaver. Knitting is a single thread. Unlike weaving, knitting uses one continuous strand of yarn looped into itself. Two needles click softly, pulling new loops through old ones. The fabric is elastic and stretchy. The rhythm is soothing. Knit, pearl, knit, pearl. It is portable and ancient, a craft that clothes generations one stitch at a time, creating a chain of care that can be unraveled and knit again. Wool has memory. If you stretch a wool sweater, it bounces back. If you steam a crease into trousers, it stays. Wool fibers have a natural memory, returning to their original shape after stress. This comes from the protein structure. A well-made wool garment learns your body but retains its form. It is resilient, forgiving, and persistent, remembering how it was made long after it leaves the needles. Felting is magic. When wool is rubbed together in warm, soapy water, the scales on the fibers lock together permanently. The loose fluff shrinks into a dense, solid fabric called felt. This process is irreversible. Nomadic cultures used felt to make yurts and boots. It is transformation at its most dramatic, chaos pressed into solid protection, creating a material that is windproof, waterproof, and incredibly warm. The Aran sweater tells a story. Traditional Irish sweaters are knit with complex cables. Each stitch holds meaning. The honeycomb represents hard work. The cable represents the fisherman's ropes. The diamond represents the fields. The wool was left unwashed, retaining its lanolin to shed the sea spray. Each sweater was a prayer for safety, a story knit into the very fabric of the garment to bring the wearer home. Fair Isle is painting with yarn. On the tiny Scottish islands, knitters developed a technique to carry two colours across a row. This created double-thick, incredibly warm fabric with intricate geometric patterns. Fair Isle knitting is a dance of colour against the grey northern sea. It is art and engineering combined, turning scraps of coloured wool into a masterpiece of insulation that is as beautiful as it is practical. Wool warms you when wet. This is the survival secret of wool. Even if you fall into a river, a wool sweater will still trap heat. The crimped fibers stay lofty even when soaked, unlike cotton, which collapses. For sailors and mountaineers, this quality saved lives. Wool does not abandon you in the rain. It remains faithful, warming you even in the worst conditions nature can offer. Merino is the softest. Merino sheep, originally from Spain, produce fibers thinner than a human hair. This fineness makes the wool incredibly soft, removing the itch associated with coarser breeds. It feels like silk against the skin. Merino is the wool of comfort, the luxury fiber that lets you forget you are wearing it, gentle and light as a cloud, warming you without weighing you down. The woolsack. In the British House of Lords, the Speaker sits on a large square cushion called the woolsack, stuffed with pure wool. It has been there since the Middle Ages. It symbolizes that the wealth of the nation was built on the wool trade. Wool was once more valuable than gold, a commodity that built empires and funded cathedrals, all originating from the humble sheep. The Golden Fleece. In Greek mythology, Jason searched for the Golden Fleece. This myth likely comes from the ancient practice of using sheepskins to pan for gold in rivers. The dense fleece would catch heavy gold dust from the water, turning the skin literally golden. It is a story where wool and wealth are physically intertwined, a treasure worth a journey across the ancient world. Tweed is the landscape. Harris tweed is woven in the Scottish highlands. The dyes used traditionally came from the land: lichen for green, peat, soot for brown, flowers for yellow. When you look at a piece of tweed, you are looking at a camouflage of the Scottish hills. It is the landscape woven into cloth, designed to blend in with the heather and the stone, keeping the wearer hidden and warm. Tartans are identity. In Scotland, specific plaid patterns are associated with families and clans. Each tartan is a unique combination of coloured stripes. Wearing your tartan is a statement of belonging. The wool holds history woven into every crossing thread. It is a visual language of loyalty, ancestry worn proudly on the shoulder, a thread connecting the present to the past and the future. Wool returns to the earth. Because wool is a natural protein, it is completely biodegradable. A wool sweater buried in the ground will decompose within months, returning nutrients to the soil. Synthetic fibers last forever, but wool is part of the cycle. It comes from the grass, feeds the sheep, warms the human, and eventually returns to feed the grass again, completing the circle of life gently. Wool absorbs sound. The dense structure of wool makes it an excellent acoustic insulator. Wool carpets and tapestries muffle footsteps and soften echoes. A room lined with wool is quieter, calmer. It absorbs the sharp edges of noise, wrapping you in auditory softness. Wool creates silence, holding the world's noise gently and letting it fade into a peaceful, muffled quiet. Shetland shawls. On the Shetland Islands, spinners create yarn so fine it looks like spider silk. They knit it into wedding ring shawls, lace so delicate the entire blanket can be pulled through a wedding ring. These heirlooms are testaments to patience. The wool plucked from hardy sheep on windswept rocks becomes something fragile, precious, and incredibly beautiful, warm as a whisper. Valenki boots. In Russia, wool is felted into seamless boots called valenki. They are not sewn. They are sculpted from raw wool using heat and pressure. They are incredibly warm, capable of withstanding Siberian winters. They mold to the wearer's foot over time. It is footwear made of nothing but fleece and friction, a perfect shield against the ice and snow of the north. The army blanket. For centuries, the standard military blanket was a 100% wool. It was olive drab, scratchy, and indestructible. It kept soldiers warm in freezing trenches and damp foxholes. These blankets are iconic symbols of survival. They are heavy, smelling of mothballs and history, a testament to wool's reliability in the harshest conditions on Earth, providing a small comfort in uncomfortable places. Swaddling babies. Wool is breathable and temperature regulating, making it the perfect fiber for newborns. Swaddling a baby in a soft wool blanket prevents overheating while providing security. The fiber is gentle and organic. A wool-swaddled baby sleeps deeply, held in warmth that adapts to their needs, safe in the same fiber that once kept a lamb warm in the spring pasture. Dryer balls. Tossing balls of felted wool into a laundry dryer softens clothes naturally. They bounce around, separating the wet fabric and allowing air to circulate. They replace chemical softeners. It is a simple, sustainable use for wool. a bouncy, quiet tool that works in the dark of the machine, softening your life one load at a time, making your clothes feel like home. Ancient survivors. Archaeologists have found wool textiles in peat bogs and frozen tombs that are thousands of years old. A 4,000-year-old tunic found in Norway is still recognizable. The wool outlasts the people who wore it. It is a quiet survivor, still holding the shape of ancient hands, proof that well-made things endure long after the weaver has gone. Icelandic loppi. Icelandic sheep have a unique double coat, a soft, warm undercoat and a long, water-repellent outer coat. When spun together, they create loppi yarn. This is used for the famous Icelandic sweaters with circular yokes. They are lightweight but incredibly warm, evolved to protect farmers from the Arctic winds. It is survival knit into tradition, beauty born from necessity. Wool filters water. The structure of wool allows it to trap particles while letting water pass through. In ancient times, wool was used to strain liquids. Today, it is used in eco-filters to absorb oil spills and heavy metals. Even after it is shorn, wool continues to serve, purifying and protecting, doing work we never asked for, but always needed to keep our world clean. The shepherd's crook. The symbol of the shepherd is the crook, a staff with a hook at the top. This hook was designed to gently catch a sheep by the neck or leg to pull it from a ditch or bramble. It is a tool of rescue, not punishment. It represents the shepherd's promise to guide, to protect, and to bring the lost back to the fold. Alpaca is the cousin. In the Andes Mountains, the alpaca provides a fiber very similar to wool. It is hollow, making it lighter and warmer than sheep's wool. It lacks lanolin, making it hypoallergenic. These animals were domesticated by the Incas. It is the same principle across the world. A creature grows a coat, and humans, grateful, turn it into warmth and survival. It grows back every year. Wool is one of the few fibers that is renewable annually without killing the source. The sheep lives on. Each spring, the cycle repeats. The fleece grows, the shearer comes, the wool is removed, and the sheep returns to the pasture. It is abundance without loss, a harvest that leaves the source intact and healthy, ready for another year. Mending is an act of care. A wool sweater can last a lifetime. Small holes can be darned, woven shut with new thread. This visible mending is a badge of honor. It shows the garment is loved. Wool does not demand to be replaced. It asks only for care. It rewards patience, becoming more comfortable and personal with every year of wear, telling the story of your life. Counting sheep. The practice of counting sheep to fall asleep is iconic. Imagine them jumping over a fence one by one. Soft, woolly bodies, gentle hooves, an endless line. It slows the mind. It may have started with shepherds counting their flock to ensure safety, but for us, it is a mental lullaby, a peaceful parade marching us softly into dreams. Trapping the air. The secret of wool is simple. It is mostly air. The curly fibers trap layers of still air next to your skin. Your body warms this air, and the wool holds it there. The thicker the wool, the more air it traps. It is not magic. It is geometry. It is nature's architecture designed to protect life on a cold hillside. Wool is grass transformed. Think of it this way: a sheep eats clover and transforms it into fleece. A shepherd shears it. A spinner twists it. You wrap yourself in that blanket. You are, in essence, wrapping yourself in summer fields and sunlight. Wool is care made tangible. It is warmth with a history, and tonight, as you rest beneath it, you are held by all of that. And now the spinning wheel begins to slow. We've drifted through 50 quiet truths, from the green hills where sheep graze to the gentle click of knitting needles. You are part of this warmth now. The fibers you've touched were once sunlight, converted by sheep into something that keeps you safe. Every thread carries the work of shepherds and the patience of spinners. Tonight, as you rest, the sheep continue. They graze in moonlight, their fleeces growing slowly, silently. The wool is patient, the blanket is ready, and you are safe. If you're still awake, another journey awaits. I hope you sleep well and dream softly. Good night.